Friday, a gunman killed 2 people in a Colorado Planned Parenthood clinic. Since then, executives have been quick to politicize the tragedy. It was actually 3 people. Vicki Coher, president and CEO of Planned Parenthood Rocky Mountain, said this.
Such a negative environment has been created around the work that Planned Parenthood does. I can't believe that this isn't contributing to some folks, mentally unwell or not, thinking that it's okay to target Planned Parenthood.
This is offensive on so many levels. So, she talked a little bit about the toxic environment created by these negative videos, but takes no responsibility for possibly the toxic environment that Planned Parenthood might have created in having the videos necessary in the first place.
Right. The appalling butchery of Planned Parenthood and their entire business model is not a justification of the violence that we saw in Colorado. Everyone that I know who is pro-life, including myself, unequivocally denounces what this psycho did. What is driving me crazy, and it seems like we talk about this every time I'm on the show because it is a pattern in our society, in our politics. It comes back to the thesis of our book, End of Discussion, how one side in particular tries to exploit tragedy and tries to take arguments and say, aha, rhetoric is responsible, ideology is responsible for the ravings or actions of a madman in an effort to silence a debate and tar people with whom they disagree. And that's what we've seen not just from Planned Parenthood executives, but the governor of Colorado, the Washington Post editorial board, I mean, the New York Times, of course. The list goes on where they're saying, aha, here's one guy who may have been an anti-abortion zealot extremist who resorted to violence. Let's use this opportunity to slime an entire half of the country, and it is revolting, and we have to reject it.
But there's almost this glee once again for politicians to come out and talk about gun control.
Sure.
Which is really, of the offensive things that happened in this case, that's pretty low down on the list.
I'd say that's right. I mean, this is the same category of error as the previous story. It's oversimplification.
Yeah.
The simple narrative is the one that wins. We can talk about gun control very easily and simply. If there are no guns, there'll be no crime. Let's not deal with the fact that there are millions of guns, and you simply cannot make them all disappear. I'd say that that's about the same when you ascribe all of these specific intentions to what is obviously a crazy person.
Yeah.
And crazy people of all political stripes have carried out various heinous actions, and that's not an indictment of the beliefs that they may share in common with other normal, sane people.
No, if there's a tiny bit of real estate that they share in common, you can't paint everyone with a broad brush, and I hope people don't give in to that political convenience, because it is so dangerous. So what do you blame for this? I mean, do you blame rhetoric for violence?
Anytime anyone blames any kind of violence like this on rhetoric, whether it's this, whether it's a terrorist attack, saying the GOP is being too tough on Muslims, it's just there's no way that a normal person can be turned into this kind of madman through somebody's rhetoric. There's a pre-existing condition of you being evil and or like cuckoo bananas, totally crazy.
Yeah.
No normal, well-adjusted person is here, oh, I was normal, and then I heard Carly Fiorina talk for 5 minutes, and then I wanted to shoot up a bunch of people. That's really what they're saying when you boil it down to that, and that is insane. There's absolutely no way that's the way that the world works. No normal person is affected that way by anything, and if you were, then it was going to be something else.
And Planned Parenthood has even made the admission, we're going to stop trading or selling these body parts. Well, then, that's an admission they were doing this in the first place.
Right. Not cool.
And if the video hadn't caught them doing that, they would just, go along and silence trading in parts of the unborn?
But this is the opportunity for them to pivot from, oh, look at what we've been doing, technically legally, or in some cases illegally, and let's instead go over here and not let a crisis go to waste and try to blame all of this on our critics and make them the issue and their free speech and their good faith beliefs the issue rather than the man who is responsible for this and the conduct at Planned Parenthood.
And that's another really good point that we have to bring up. Unfortunately, we have to go right now. But the free speech element, if only we quiet people who stand on the opposite side of our flimsily held beliefs, if only we could squash that discussion and maybe have an end of discussion. Co-author of a fantastic book on free speech. Much more with the panel coming up.